Motivational speeches always help me, and now I want them to help you. Today I'd like to start a series of videos which should help you to take emotional control over what you feel. Whenever we have less energy to work hard, less energy to stay positive and enthusiastic, we need motivation. And there are many ways to motivate ourselves. Through meditation, through exercising, through positive affirmations, etc. But sometimes we just need someone else to tell us what we need to hear. I feel that motivational speeches helped me through some hard times. And here comes one of the speeches which I found extremely beneficial to listen to. You can listen to it anywhere, at home lying in your bed, while you are walking, on a bus or subway. But what is crucial is keeping your mind available for new ideas while listening.
If you're not feeling well, what do? You go online, right? You look at people standing at the bus stop for 10 minutes waiting for the bus. They get uncomfortable with being with themselves, they pull out the phone and they start engaging with something. Because to actually be with you is probably one of the most challenging things you can face in life. And the way to survive right off the bat is to learn to accept you for who you are. You just really have to put 2 arms around yourself and go, this is me. Accepting doesn't mean condoning. It's just acknowledging that this is where you are right now. You're made up of good things and not so good things, and it's okay. And I always looked at myself as a building under construction. There's still work going on, there's scaffolding, there's tools lying around, there are nails, but it's a work in progress. So, we're just born into this world and people say like, here, learn your nursery rhymes, learn your ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, go to school, learn geography, learn history, science, the periodic table. Why? When are you ever going to use the periodic table again? But simple things of like basic life human skills, we never get taught. Who teaches you how to go to sleep? How many people out there struggle to go to sleep? Me. Millions, right? Because they assume everybody knows how to go to sleep. How do I go to sleep without any problem? And it's a simple process. You lay on your back with your hands by your side, your palms facing upward. You visualize your nervous system. And you visualize all your energy coming into your nervous system and flowing from different limbs into your spine. So imagine all the energy in your leg, your left leg, being absorbed into the nervous system, flowing up the nervous system into your spine. And then the same thing with your right leg, your left arm, upper torso, and your right side of your upper torso and your arm here, pulling into your spine, and your whole body goes to sleep. Because when you relax your nervous system, you relax your muscles. When you relax your muscles, the whole arm goes limp. How terrible is it when you wake up in the morning and your smartphone's only got 30% of battery left? You're like, oh, should have charged it, right? Because you want to wake up and you want 100% on your phone, not 30%. So most people go to sleep and wake up with like 60% of battery in their life. And for me, my goal is to go to sleep, be fully rested, and wake up with 100% of energy so that I can go and have a dynamic day and do things that I want to do. Energy is always flowing out of us to people and things around us. And one of the ways to get to enlightenment is to first stop the loss of energy. Then you harness that energy from going out of you, you withdraw it into you, you concentrate, and you channel that energy up your spine into your head to awaken higher states of consciousness. But in order to do that, you need to conserve as much energy as possible. The more people you have in your life, the more things you have in your life, the more energy you expand. It's almost like if you take a space shuttle that wants to go into space, what's it strapped onto? A rocket, right? Which is filled with fuel. But as soon as it gets past the Earth's atmosphere, what happens? It releases the rockets fall away, and the shuttle just keeps going. And you could almost say what you're trying to do is take your awareness and move it up your spine, into your head, into deeper states of consciousness. And to be able to do that, you need tremendous amount of energy. And that's why monks have very few possessions, minimizing material possessions, minimizing the number of people in your life. So a lot of times they say, you hear people say that material things are bad. We didn't believe that material things were bad. We believe that the simplification of it. Keep a few things that you really need and a few things that you want, and live your life that way. People come up to me all the time, Brian, and they say, Dr. Pani, I'm so stressed out. I've got so much happening in my life. Do you think if I meditate for 5 minutes in the morning, it'll help my whole day? I'm going like, well, what are you doing the remaining 23 hours and 55 minutes? That's what I want to know. Because if you try to meditate for 5 minutes in the morning and the rest of the day you just live a chaotic life, that's not, it's a good start, but it's not really helping you. It's like eating a carrot in the morning and then eating hamburgers and fries all day and hoping to have a healthy diet. You have to understand that your whole day, your lifestyle is what's going to support your meditation practice at the start, and then your meditation practice grows, and then it turns around and supports your lifestyle. But not the other way around. You don't create a meditation practice to support your lifestyle. You create a lifestyle first, meditation second, then meditation affects the lifestyle, not the other way around. Everybody in the West has got it backwards. Everybody's so busy. Everybody's got a lot of things to do. We don't actually have a lot of things to do.
Right. We like being distracted because then we don't have to think about ourselves.
Well, yeah. Most people don't have clear priorities in life. For me, my goal is to simplify my life, simplify the number of people in my life, and simplify the number of things in my life. We only have a finite amount of energy each day, right? But every year, we have more people in our lives. Is that a fair statement? More Facebook friends, more people you're connected with, but your energy stays the same. So that's not a proportionate growth. If your energy is increasing every year proportionately with the number of things and people in your life, then we don't have to talk about this. But your energy level is the same. But the amount of people and things in your life are growing almost exponentially. So whereas that doesn't work. So for me, it's always about simplifying first the people and things into your life, into who and what's most important, taking that finite energy that you have each day and focusing. The second step is learning how to focus and concentrate that finite amount of energy into the people and things that truly matter. Now you start to create a lifestyle that you actually love because you invested into people and things that matter. And the byproduct of that is happiness. Happiness is not a goal. And if you ask most people, what do you want in life? They say, I want to be happy. I always say you should never pursue happiness. Don't pursue happiness. Pursue a lifestyle where the byproduct of that lifestyle is happiness. So happiness comes as a byproduct. I spend time with the people that I love. What is my byproduct? I'm happy. I spend time with people I don't like. I'm not happy. So don't pursue happiness. Pursue a lifestyle that gives happiness. But in order to pursue that lifestyle, you need to be clear what you want in life. What's your purpose in life? And people don't know this because they don't spend any time with themselves. I remember a few years ago, I was in Australia and spoke at an event with some very, very successful entrepreneurs, and they took me out to dinner afterwards, and there was 4 guys and 2 ladies and 2 wives, and everybody else had left and we had dinner. It was like 12:30 in the morning. I asked just everyone at the table, what's your purpose in life? Nobody could answer. 2 people said, I don't know. 2 guys rambled on for 5 minutes, which meant they had no idea. 1 lady had no, one of the wives said, I don't know. The other wife started talking, and then she broke down and attacked her husband. There you go. Simple question. What's your purpose in life? No idea. What color is your tie, Brian?
I think it's red.
It's red, right? I mean, not very difficult to answer. But people don't know because they never spend any time with themselves. I always say, people make time for everything and everyone else in their life, but they never make time for themselves. If you go up to someone who you know and say, like, would you like to catch up for coffee? Let's do coffee. They're like, oh, I can't this week, but I can next week. How about Thursday, 7 p.m.? Perfect. I'll see you at this place. When was the last time someone was willing to take time out of their life to spend time with themselves? So if I wanted to get to know you, and we've had one dinner and had a great conversation, and we're spending time here. If I wanted to get to know you, I would have to spend time with you. We'd have to meet up for coffee, a glass of wine. If I really want to get to know you, maybe we meet up once a week. Every Friday night we go out for a glass of wine, we chat for a couple of hours. After a year, I'd get to know you really well, you get to know me really well. But it requires me spending time with you. So if you want to get to know yourself, you need to spend time with yourself. But in a way that you can inquire, right? So people say to me things like, oh, I walk my dog in the park, that's my time with myself. And I'm like, no, it's not. That's you walking the dog. People go like, oh, I go for a jog, that's my alone time. No, that's you jogging, avoiding traffic, watching where you're stepping so you don't trip and fall over. Spending time with yourself is sitting down, closing your eyes, not interacting with the outside world, and actually going inside and having that conversation. The same conversation I would have with you and say like, hey Brian, so where did you grow up? You said California, do you like to surf? No? Hate the water, love the water? Tell me, right? And people don't have that conversation, and because they don't have that conversation with themselves, they don't end up knowing what they want in life. Because they don't know what they want in life, they can't focus that finite amount of energy, and then they don't live a lifestyle that brings them happiness, and those people end up being unhappy. Take 5 minutes out of the day every morning, and maybe even just do it Monday to Friday and take the weekends off. Wake up in the morning, shower, go to a quiet place in your home or apartment, sit down for 5 minutes, close your eyes. You could do a couple of breathing exercises, and maybe just take a few deep breaths to relax yourself, and then start having that conversation with yourself. Same conversation, then the next natural question is, what do I talk about, right? Well, what would you talk about if you met a stranger at a bar? Would you just sit there and stare at them? Would you ask questions? What's your name? How are you feeling? What do you think about the election in America? Ask yourself these questions. Have a conversation the same way you would have with a stranger with yourself. And when you have that conversation every day, the initial conversations will be very superficial. Of, I'm feeling today, I'm hungry, didn't like that show we watched last night. And then after a week, we're not going to be talking about that. If we met once a week for 6 months, by month 3 or month 4, our conversations will be so much deeper. Right? We'll be talking about much more personal stuff. And then you'd really get to know yourself. When you feel comfortable, when you can trust the other person with more deeper personal stuff. The same way you have to trust yourself too. Yeah, once you close your eyes and go inside of you, you realize that you're going to see things that you love and things that you don't love. And you have to be prepared for that. And most people can't handle that. They can close their eyes and go in and see all the things they love about themselves, but the things that are unpleasant makes them open their eyes and go, this is absolutely useless. I could definitely use my time in much more productive ways. And then they get up and they leave. Same way like you get to know someone you love, right? You see all the good things about them and all the not so good things. This is part of the package, right? But you love and accept them because you love that person. The same way you need to take that approach with yourself. But you can't know what you want until you spend time with yourself. And you were getting to know yourself, right? The process of meditation of closing your eyes and going within, and you're facing everything inside of you. Yeah, I'm not happy doing what I'm doing. I need to leave. But that doesn't come if your eyes are open and you're always patching yourself with some kind of external stimulus and not facing who you are and what you are. And it takes tremendous amount of courage to do that. To actually go in, see what you really want, and then even more courage then to pursue it. Because it took a lot of courage, I'm sure, to leave the banking, the financial world, a world that you knew, you felt safe, you knew how it worked, and go do something completely different. I meet so many people all the time that tell me they're unhappy with their life and they want to change something, but never go around to doing anything about it. And they just live that life they want to live. Very few people actually have the courage to follow through. If you understand how the subconscious works, this is a very simple analogy of the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind really stores all your patterns and any habit patterns you have, your memories all get stored in the subconscious. When you have an intense experience in your life, you can look at the subconscious as a piece of metal. Imagine a metal bowl. If I wanted to change the shape, what would I need to do? I need to heat it up, right? I heat up the metal bowl, it gets really red hot, and then I can hammer it into any shape I want. And then when it cools down, it takes on a new shape. So when you have an intense experience in your life, you could say your subconscious mind is heating up. And during that, and it's a beautiful opportunity to reshape it. So when people go through intense experiences like near-death experience of birth of a first child or something traumatic, you see a lot of people do make huge changes in their life. So we use these to actually program our subconscious. So as we chant on each bead, we chant an affirmation. I am happy, or I'm confident, And we repeat the same chant over and over again, and there are 108 beats in here, so you can imagine how your subconscious gets programmed. One chant over and over again. So if it's I'm happy or I'm confident, you repeat it 108 times. So with affirmation, 3 ingredients are necessary. Concise choice of positive words, clear visualization, and a corresponding feeling. And most people don't understand this when it comes to affirmation. They just say the words, but no visualization and no feeling. So for example, if I say, I love apples, concise choice of positive words. Now when I say the word I, my mind knows I'm talking about me. When I say the word love, my mind knows that he likes it, he enjoys it, he adores it. That's what love means to him. When I say the word apples, my mind gets confused. Because it's searching my entire hard drive, my entire subconscious from the day I was born for every occurrence of the word apple. Red apple, green apples, yellow apples, Honeycrisp apples, Red Delicious, Fuji apples, Washington apples, Apple MacBook Pro, MacBook Air, Apple Watch, iWatch, Apple iPhone, Apple iPad. What apples is he talking about? I have no idea, right? So words alone is not enough, so that's why we have visualization. So when I say I love apples and I visualize a bright red apple, my mind goes, oh, that's what he's talking about. I love apples. He loves bright red apples. This particular type of apple. It's a Washington or Honeycrisp apple, which has a little yellowish tint to it.
Okay.
So that's why words and visualization are important.
Okay.
And then feeling. Feeling is emotion. Emotion is energy. To find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Everything is made up of energy that's vibrating at a certain frequency. Right? So the chair has molecules and atoms that are vibrating a certain frequency, binding it together, creating a certain matter. So if I go into my subconscious, I repeat an affirmation which has a concise choice of positive words, clear visualization, I infuse a feeling into it. What does it feel like? Right? And it starts to vibrate in my subconscious with that frequency. Now it attracts anything of a similar vibration or similar frequency towards it. To give you a very simple example, boy dates girl, they go out for 2 years, they have a great intimate relationship, they break up. Boy hangs out with his friends to get over the relationship. The girl does, chocolate, shopping, wine therapy with her girlfriends for 6 months, finally says, I'm over him. She starts dating again. Who does she attract into her life? Quite often a similar guy. Different person, but with the same vibration, same type of person. I've had so many people come up to me, boys and girls, say, I keep attracting the same type of person into my life. Common thing I hear all the time. Why? Because John dates Sue. They have 2 years of a relationship. Sue has vibrations that are emotional experiences that are vibrating at the frequency of John in her subconscious. They break up. Those experiences are still vibrating at the frequency of John in her subconscious. Now she goes to date, who does she attract? Another John named Peter of a similar frequency. And that just happens. So energy doesn't know how to discriminate between what's good for you and what's not good for you. It's just energy. So anything of a similar frequency gets drawn to you. So if you know how the subconscious works and you know how to program it using affirmations with a clear concise choice of positive words, clear visualization, and a corresponding feeling. Feeling being the most important component because it's the actual energy that attracts. Then you can bring into your life anything you want. Because you want to train, you want to program the mind, right? So if your affirmation's like a page long, it's very hard to shape it. So it needs to be concise and positive. Where awareness goes, energy flows. So if you put your awareness on something, that's where your energy is flowing and that's what's going to start manifesting in your life, but it needs to be followed through with action. And I think a lot of people just think about things and have cop-out lines like, the universe will manifest it for me. And I'm like, that's the biggest cop-out ever. Do the work, manifest it yourself. Don't wait for a handout, go out there and create it. But put energy into it, right? So I always tell people the way to look at energy is look at energy the same way you look at water. If I took a watering can and I watered a garden bed, what would grow, the weeds or the flowers? They both grow, right? The water doesn't know how to discriminate between the weeds and the flowers. Energy is the same way too. If you put energy into something, it'll grow whether it's positive or negative. And the way to put energy into something is to put your awareness on it. So where awareness goes, energy flows. You keep your awareness on something, that's where your energy is flowing. And if your energy is flowing there, it starts to manifest in your life. Regardless if it's positive or negative, it doesn't matter. All you have to do is keep your awareness there. So if you can think about something long enough, over and over again, energy starts to flow there, it starts to manifest in your life. But you also need to do the work. I can't just sit here and just think about it all day. You need to also then support it with actions. I see happening a lot these days is that their employees or their team members can't focus. We've got a generation of human beings now that are growing up that are trained to be distracted. So now they're coming into the workplace. I was in Kenya a month and a half ago in Nairobi speaking at an event. A business owner came up to me and goes, yeah, my employees can't focus. Do you think you can help them? I go like, have you ever taught them how to concentrate? And the answer was no. And I go like, that's where we need to start. We need to start by teaching them how to concentrate. Because what companies do is they bring in processes and systems to stop them from being distracted, like turning off social media. Well, you're patching the problem, right? You should rather be teaching them how to concentrate, so then you don't have to turn off social media. You can leave it on, but they know when to focus and when to shift their focus. When we grow up, we get told to concentrate, we never get taught how to, right? I mean, did you get formal classes in concentration when you were growing up? But you probably got told, right? Focus on this, concentrate on your homework. But nobody teaches us how to do it. But then when you want to learn the piano, or you want to learn how to drive a car, play tennis, we take lessons, we learn how to do it, and then we practice it to be good at it. And if you don't practice it, you don't become good at it. So people don't learn how to concentrate and they don't practice concentration. So if you don't learn it and you don't practice it, how would you be good at it? Why are they good at distraction? Because they practice it all the time. If you practice something 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day, after 6 months, you'd be an expert at it. Because meditation is born out of a prolonged state of concentration, right? So you need to learn to concentrate first. When you can concentrate, then you can meditate. Meditation comes out of a prolonged state of concentration. So we learned concentration throughout the whole day. We practiced it, everything that we did. So when we sat down, we were ready to get into a state of meditation.
How can we learn how to concentrate better?
A simple way what most people can do is practice doing one thing at a time. So if you're speaking to somebody, give them your undivided attention. You know, if you're driving, focus on driving. Don't text and drive at the same time. If you're doing emails, just do emails. Don't be on the phone and doing emails at the same time. So if you bring this method of just doing one thing at a time throughout the day, you learn to concentrate. And you actually become so much more efficient. Multitasking is a myth, it doesn't exist. Just do one thing. So I bring that into my whole life. If I'm having a cup of coffee with someone, my phone's in my pocket, it's not sitting on the table having a cup of coffee with the other phone. And I give that person my undivided attention. And I do this throughout the whole day, and I practice concentration. And then eventually you just become good at it. You become good at whatever you practice. And practice also doesn't have the ability to discriminate between what's good and not good for you. Whatever you practice, you become good at. So whenever I'm going through an intense time in my life, I go, perfect time for change. And when you finish what you begin, it develops willpower. One of the ways to develop willpower in life is to finish what you begin. So I bring that practice into everyday life. If you have time to make breakfast and eat breakfast, then you have time to wash the breakfast dish. It's not about washing the breakfast dish, it's about developing willpower. It's finishing what you begin. There's nothing more important in life than knowing who you are, the path that you're on, and its final end. And to me, this is priceless wisdom for anybody out there. If you don't know who you are, you don't know what you want, you don't know your path there and where you're going in life. And life is so precious, Brian. People don't realize how precious life is. It can go away in a twinkle of an eye. And once you realize how precious it is, then comes the intensity of wanting to focus on who you are and what you want in life. When was the last time you got in a car and said, I'm going for a drive? Without any direction, any destination. Oh, I think I'll take a left over here. I'll drive for another 2 miles. Maybe I'll hang a right here. Why? Because it feels good. You don't. You get in the car, you know where you're going, and then you figure out the path to get there. So why is it any different when it comes to life? But you can't know the path until you know the destination. Figure out the goal first. The goal defines the path. Then you build your pillars or your surroundings your environment to help you stay on the path to get to the goal, but you have to start with the destination first. Create a routine in the morning, and the best routine is wake up, don't engage with the outside world using your electronic devices. Wake up, shower, go sit down somewhere in your home quietly for 5 minutes each day. Close your eyes, don't read a book, don't listen to podcasts. This is your time with you and you only, and get to know yourself. Ask yourself questions of what do I want? Where do I want to go in life? What makes me happy? Who makes me happy? What am I passionate about? And keep asking yourself these same questions over and over again. Every day for 5 minutes in the morning. Write down your answers in a little journal and make this a ritual that you don't break. And I can guarantee you after a few weeks, after a few months, you'll really get to know yourself and you'll start to figure out what's important in your life. And once you know then what's important in your life, you can figure out your goal. Your goal defines your path, and then your path defines your surroundings, how you want to create your life around you. And this is the greatest gift you can give yourself, but you need to take that step. And the greatest impetus for doing that is to realize that life is finite, that you're only here on this planet not for a short amount of time, but for a finite amount of time. And for me, I use that as an impetus to do what I want to do in life. Because someone once said to me, I know I need to do this, but I don't. So what do you recommend? I said, well, tell yourself every day, I have a clock that's ticking. Get an app, put a countdown. If you're 20 years old, just say you live up to 90 years old. So put 70 years in there and hit start. And every day just watch that numbers count down. And then you'll realize that you don't have much time left. That's an impetus, right? If you want an impetus, use life as an impetus, because that's the one thing nobody can escape. Death.
Yeah.
And so use it as an impetus and then create that ritual in the morning to get to know yourself.
Hope you found it useful. Please thumb it up and share it with whoever you think it might be beneficial to as well. If you look forward to more motivational content, please hit the subscribe button below. And see you in my next video coming up.